Alright guys, so I'm here in Canada, specifically Calgary and Banff on vacation. I just spent about 5 days in Banff. It was beautiful. Now I'm back in Calgary for a few days before I get back home to South Florida. As I've said many times in my videos, I really don't have much in the way of stores in South Florida, so I figured I'd treat myself to one of your guys' stores here. We got Professional Skate. I've heard this is a place to go in Calgary to see goalie equipment. So let's go inside and see what they have. Here are the new Bauer Pro knee pads, and what's kind of interesting and I really like is this part that goes on the kind of knee and calf area. Looks like it would really fit your leg good and hold up the knee pad, and the curved composite up top seems pretty protective. These are pretty interesting. You know, I've been a Warrior guy for the most part. I really like them, but the Bauer Pro knee pads look pretty interesting. And then over here are the CCM. A little less interesting to me. Yeah, but the Bauer one is really the one that caught my eye here. If I were to try a different one, these are really piquing my interest. Okay, so this is the higher level CCM knee pad from the other ones I looked at before. So these do seem a little better. I would still say the Bauer ones are a little more intriguing to me, but I don't know, these seem pretty good too. I haven't, done a lot of trying out of other knee pads. Actually, no trying out of other knee pads other than Warrior, but I don't know, just looking at the ones they have here, I would say I'd probably go with Bauer and then maybe CCM. Here are some of the jocks they have, but I think this is more my speed here. So while I'm very happy with my Kova neck and cloud protector, I would say out of the ones they have here, the one that actually interests me most is the Brian's one. I wouldn't mind giving this a try. Not really a CCM stick fan, but the colors they have here look pretty good. So looks wise, they look pretty good. Here is the new Flylite chesty. As you know, I've tried the Hyperlite 2, I switched to the Shadow, now I'm currently in a Vaughn one, but the general shape and design of it looks pretty similar to the Hyperlite 2. It's got this exposed curved composite for extra protection on the wrist. It's got this neoprene sleeve for your wrist, as opposed to just the traditional strap. This elbow part here kind of reminds me more of a Hyperlite 1 than the Hyperlite 2. It looks like it might have reinforced padding on the bicep as well, but other than that, for the most part, it seems pretty much like the Hyperlite 2. And like, if you're in a Hyperlite 2 and you're liking it, I really don't see a huge need to upgrade to the Flylite. So here's the Flylite glove and blocker. Again, kind of the same thing with everything else Flylite. I feel like there's really not any huge difference. If you have the Hyperlite 2, no need to run out and get these, or if you see the Hyperlite 2 on sale, whatever, it might be a better deal than getting these new. Glove feels very similar. I mean, obviously the one in the store here needs a little breaking in, but blocker is pretty much the same too. While the cuff on it has been improved from what I didn't like about the Hyperlite 2 blocker cuff, it's still a little more restrictive than I would care for. So I still prefer overall the Shadow blocker at this point. But yeah, that's the glove and blocker for the Flylite. Checking out the Flylite leg pad, kind of the same opinion I had about the chest protector. I feel like there's not much difference between the Hyperlite 2 and this, that like if you're happy with the Hyperlite 2, you need to run out and get this. I don't know, people have said this is supposed to be a little more flexible than the Hyperlite 2. I don't know, man. It's still, you know how my opinion is with flexibility of pads, and to me it's still pretty damn stiff in general. There's something interesting to call out on their new SV Pro line, which is a second price point pad, and it's kind of a combination of the Shadow and the Flylite, is it actually has cut and sew graphics. I didn't realize that when I saw it online, but yeah, this has cut and sew graphics, and I do like the graphic of this better than the Flylite graphic. So just looking at these shoes with their new Diamond Glide, obviously I'm not wearing them, I'm not on the ice. It does feel like it would slide a little better than their shitty past quick glide, whatever the hell it was. And aside from that, I do like how thin this pad is. This is the L87, which is just the classic graphic on a Catalyst pad. So one quick thing I wanted to say about this iconic leg pad. Well, for one thing, I'm not sorry I went with the Optic instead of the Iconic for my custom Bryans, but I will say at a stock level, this is definitely the most flexible pad in the whole store of anything stock. So if that's what you're looking for and you're stuck doing stock and not custom, I think the Bryans Iconic is the pad for you. Here's the eFlex 7 leg pad. I was actually kind of surprised how stiff it was. I was expecting it to be a little more flexible up top. You know, flexes at the brake, but up top there's really not a lot of flex. Obviously you can go custom change that, but it's stock. To me, it's not very flexible up top, but I do like how thin it is. That was pretty good. And feeling their new sliding surface also, this feels like really slippery in the best possible way. I'm really kind of curious to try eFlex 7 set. I might just pull the trigger. This is the CCM eFlex glove in the 590, the 60-degree brake. It doesn't feel terrible, I gotta say. Still pretty far away from my Vaughn glove, but out of a lot of the ones I put on my hand here, this one feels like one of the better ones in this store. And this is the eFlex 7 blocker. I mean, it feels really comfortable in my hand, but all in all, it feels a lot like just past CCM and even true blockers, which, you know, I've talked about in the past. I feel like in general hasn't really changed a lot over the years. You know, like I said, nothing really wrong with it, but I don't know, nothing that's like, oh, I gotta have it. But I mean, it does feel good on my hand. So no need to put them on my hand. I already did before filming this, but just to say in general, I did try the Iconic and Optic gloves, as you know in past videos, talking about how I like the Optic 4 pads, but I didn't like Brian's gloves. And this just reaffirmed that opinion that I do not care for Brian's gloves. Neither of them felt good at all in my hand. Out of the two, the Iconic felt a little better, but I really didn't like either one. Interesting with this SLR4 glove, while it's also a 60-degree, like my custom VX1 XP glove is, it just doesn't quite have the same feel. So even though it's the brake I like, I still prefer that XP glove for the 60-degree brake with Vaughn. All right, guys, so back in my hotel room now from my little visit to Professional Skate here in Calgary. Had a great time there. It was awesome for me. I was like a kid in a candy store. You know, like I said, I got nothing like that down by where I live. So it was cool to just be able to see like just about everything that's on the market all in one place, you know, be able to hold it in my hands, you know, really check it out in person. So I just showed you like a few little snippets here and there, just some thoughts I had looking at some gear, some things that stood out to me. I would say probably the biggest takeaway for me is I'm kind of intrigued by the CCM eFlex 7 pads. Which I haven't really given them a chance in a long time. Like the last CCM review I did was a CCM Premier 1 leg pad, I think, and that was just like a whole different time in CCM's history. Lefebvre was still with them, and like they don't even make that style pad anymore. So you know, I think it might be time to give them another chance. I've been doing stuff with Bauer, Bryans, Vaughn now, and you know, the thing with like Bauer, for instance, is while it still looks good and everything, I don't think there's like a huge difference with the Flylite that I really need to get it. I feel like it's just I'm gonna have the same experience I did with the Hyperlite 2. You know, Brian's, like I said, the gloves just don't do it for me. I have a current Optic 4 leg pad as it is. But yeah, the CCM eFlex 7 pads, the whole set actually seem pretty interesting. So I just might have to get that and do a little review on that. But yeah. That was my experience there. It was a great time. You know, the guys that were there working were really friendly. Had a long chat with them, so they were great. So I guess if you're in Calgary, hop in, check out Professional Skate. You won't regret it. But that's it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one.